Hey, I'm Danielle, and I'm about to take you through my inbox, showing you 4 tools that I use on Gmail in order to keep things organized. And really my goal here is to make sure that all the important emails get responded to. I'm making sure that I'm keeping pending items on my radar, and I'm keeping track of emails that have important content that I need to come back to. Now, to give you some context, with my role, I am in a sales role, but I also have my hand in operations. So there's just a lot going on at once. I do get a lot of emails, and it also comes in waves. So at any given time, I may have a manageable inbox or it may be absolutely insane. And there's definitely a level of urgency in a sales role because you need to get people the information, otherwise they're just going to forget about your product or program. And while I do communicate with leads by phone, sometimes it is mostly over email, and that's where I'm answering a lot of their questions. So as I said, it's just very important to stay on top of my email inbox. And these 4 tools are built into Gmail. They're pretty simple, but if you have a system around it, it's automatically going to make you more organized. Okay, so I've got my computer here, and the first tool that I want to talk about is marking read versus unread. So the key here is that when you read an important email, if you are not ready to respond because you're waiting on certain information or you're in the middle of something, but you know it's an important email, you need to right away mark that as unread so you know that you should come back to it. So here I've got an email from someone who's interested in an office suite. I work at a co-working space, so we have co-working memberships and office suites, and he is interested in a suite, but I'm waiting on some information to see what is available, what is vacant. So I marked this as unread yesterday, and I'm gonna get back to him this morning. And that leads me into the second piece here, which is archiving emails. And so if something's either past or not important, then you need to go ahead and archive it to just get it out of the way. So if I did respond to him and he was all set up and everything was finished and that email string wasn't relevant anymore, I would go ahead and archive it. Same is true with the other emails that surround that important one. If it's just information that I know already, or that time has passed or that situation has all been worked out, I'll go ahead and archive that so it just isn't cluttering anything anymore. The third tool I use, which is now integrated into Gmail, which makes me very happy, is delayed send. So if you look in my inbox, I actually have a few different emails that show that they're from me. And what that is when I know I need to follow up with somebody, I will schedule a future email to myself in that same string. So when someone says, hey, I'm not interested right now, but maybe in a couple months, I will, in that email string, forward it to myself essentially and say follow up as the little content of the email, and then actually schedule it to send a couple months down the road so that exact email string pops up and I can go ahead and just follow up with them there and then. And I do send it to myself because I want to be able to manipulate the content of that email if there are any updates, or if they happen to get back to me before then, I don't want this awkward email being sent that doesn't recognize that they did reach out to me. So I always just send it to myself so that I can switch things around and write the message that's most relevant at that point in time. As you can tell, this is super helpful in sales because there might be a longer timeline and I need to be that person to follow up with them. So if you need to be diligent in how you're following up with people, and sometimes things have a longer timeline, even if that's project work, then you can definitely use delayed send. And then the fourth tool here is folders. So along the left side here, you can do labels or folders in your Gmail, and I have about 4 or 5 different ongoing projects essentially, or areas that I work in, and the emails that I know I'm going to go back to again and again, I will actually put into that folder. So there's something for parking, like the people who have office suites who need parking passes, and if there's a certain email about the inventory of parking spots that we have, in total, taken or not taken, then I can go back to that email. So I will keep important ones in each of these project areas that are going to be ongoing and relevant and I want to go back to again and again. Maybe that is like the plan for a project or a conversation with my team around that I know is going to continue to be valuable. I'll put it in that folder and know exactly where to find it when I need it. So we are going to jump over to the table right here, and I will share my routines and habits around these different tools that keep things running smoothly. So the 2 important habits I use are daily sweeps and biweekly clearing, and I'll explain what that is. So the daily sweeps are really making sure that I'm not checking my email every 5 minutes, because that can distract from like that deeper work that you're doing, like the project work. But I want to make sure that I'm going through multiple times a day, and I'm also not avoiding certain emails that I don't want to answer. So, by the end of the day, I want to have answered any of those emails that are important and I need to get to. So I usually do 3 or 4 times a day these sweeps through my inbox. So at the beginning of the day, in the middle of the day, and at the end of the day, maybe another time in there. And that allows me to make sure that I'm answering emails in a timely manner, and I'm also making sure to respond to anything that needs to get responded to. And then the biweekly clearing is what lowers my stress levels when it comes to my inbox. So what happens in my inbox is I'll have the unread that I'm responding to, but then once those are responded to and I'm awaiting a reply, there's maybe, a page or two, so 50 to 100 emails that I'm waiting on a response to. And if I send an automatic reply, I'll go ahead and just archive it so that when that automatic reply comes back to my inbox, then it comes back to my attention. But for the other ones that are that shorter time span of a week to 2 weeks, and I want to just keep it on my radar, I will have it marked as unread. I've already gotten back to them and I'm waiting for the reply, and I want to keep that project or that conversation top of mind. I'll keep it as that unread in my inbox. And then when I go through every other week, I will go ahead and go through all of those emails and see which ones need to be attended to. So it's basically a reminder every other week of the things that are still in progress, the things that I'm waiting on, the things that are pending. And that's a really important time for me to follow up on those if I haven't gotten the necessary information, or to at least know that that is still pending. So I know this is a lot, but if there's at least 1 or 2 things that you can take from this and integrate in your habits in managing, potentially crazy inbox, then you have already made yourself more organized. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see more about personal growth and career development, then please click subscribe, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.